The room went silent the moment the news broke. No warning, no build-up, just a headline that hit like a punch to the chest: federal charges. And suddenly, the name Lil Zay Osama was everywhere. Phones started buzzing, group chats lit up, social media completely out of control. Fans are shocked because just days ago, everything looked normal. Music dropping, energy high, nothing out of place. But now, people are asking one question over and over again: how did it get this serious? Sources close to the situation say the charges didn't come out of nowhere. Some are claiming this had been building behind the scenes for a while. Quiet investigations, movements being watched, decisions that, at the time, didn't seem like a big deal, but now, they're being looked at differently. And then came his response. Not silence, not hiding. He spoke out, and what he said? It only made things more intense. Because now, emotions are running high, people are divided, and social media is going crazy trying to figure out what's real and what's not. Some fans believe he's being targeted. Others think there's more to the story that hasn't come out yet. Unconfirmed reports suggest there could be deeper layers involved, but nothing is confirmed. And that's exactly what makes this situation so explosive. Because right now, we're not looking at a finished story. We're watching it unfold in real time. So, the real question is this really the end for Lil Zay Osama? Or just the beginning of something bigger? Rewind the tape for a second, because none of this makes sense unless you understand where it all started. Before the headlines, before the federal charges, before social media started going crazy, Lil Zay Osama was moving like an artist who had finally found his lane. Coming out of Chicago, his story wasn't manufactured, it felt real. Fans connected to the pain in his music, the way he talked about loyalty, survival, and the pressure of trying to make it out. It wasn't just rap, it felt like a diary. And that's what built his audience. Not gimmicks, not trends, real-life energy that people could feel. By the time his name started circulating heavily in the scene, he had already built a reputation for consistency, dropping tracks, staying active, and keeping his presence alive across platforms. His Instagram showed glimpses of success, studio sessions, late-night vibes, moments that looked like progress. And from the outside looking in, everything seemed to be going exactly how it should. Fans were supporting, streams were climbing, opportunities were opening up. It looked like the beginning of something bigger. But here's what nobody is telling you. While the spotlight showed growth, there were quiet conversations happening in the background. Nothing confirmed, no official statements, just whispers. Some people think that when artists rise quickly, especially from environments like Chicago, it brings attention that goes beyond music. Not just fans watching, but other eyes too. The kind that don't comment, don't like posts, don't show support publicly, but they're paying attention. And if you really think about the timeline, there were small moments that, at the time, didn't seem important. Interviews where he spoke carefully. Certain posts that felt slightly more guarded than before. Again, nothing concrete, nothing confirmed. But now, looking back, fans are starting to question whether those were early signs of something building behind the scenes. Let that sink in. Because the truth is, situations like this rarely come out of nowhere. They build quietly, slowly, piece by piece. Still, publicly, everything continued like normal. Music kept dropping. Energy stayed consistent. He didn't disappear. He didn't act like something was wrong. And that's exactly why this moment feels so shocking to people now. Because there was no clear warning, no public build-up, just a sudden shift from artist to headline. Fans immediately went into detective mode. Old videos started resurfacing. Lyrics being analyzed like they meant something deeper. Comments flooded with theories. Social media is saying a lot, but nothing is confirmed. And that's where things start getting complicated. Because once speculation begins, it spreads fast. Sometimes faster than facts. Meanwhile, people close to him stayed mostly quiet. No long statements. No detailed explanations, just silence. And in moments like this, silence doesn't calm things down. It makes everything louder. Because now people start filling in the blanks themselves. Some fans believe he's being misunderstood. Others think there's more to the story that hasn't come out yet. People are divided, and emotions ran high across every platform. And then there's the pressure, because this isn't just about one person anymore. It's about everyone connected to him: family, friends, collaborators. People who were part of the journey before the fame, now watching everything unfold in public. Imagine that shift. One moment you're celebrating progress. Next moment, you're dealing with uncertainty. And right in the middle of it all is Lil Zay Osama, an artist who built his name on real experiences, now facing a situation that's raising more questions than answers. Nothing is confirmed yet. But the tension? It's real. And if you follow the timeline closely, you start to realize something important. This didn't just start today. It started long before anyone was paying attention. Rewind the tape again, this time to the moment everything flipped. It didn't happen gradually. It didn't leak slowly. It hit all at once. Federal charges. The words alone were enough to send shockwaves through the internet, and within minutes, Lil Zay Osama was trending across multiple platforms. Twitter timelines flooded, Instagram pages reposted the same headline over and over, and TikTok creators started breaking it down in real time. Social media was going crazy, and nobody had the full story yet. Fans are shocked, because when you hear feds, it automatically feels serious. Not local, not small. This is a different level. And that's where the confusion started turning into concern. According to unconfirmed reports, this wasn't something that just appeared overnight. Some sources suggest there may have been an investigation building quietly behind the scenes. Again, nothing is confirmed, but that idea alone changed how people looked at everything. Because if true, it means this situation had layers long before the public knew anything. Think about that. While music was dropping and everything looked normal on the surface, something else may have been developing in the background. Quiet, calculated, out of sight. And then came his response. Instead of going silent, instead of disappearing, Lil Zay Osama spoke out, and that moment became the center of everything. Clips started spreading fast. People replaying his words, trying to catch tone, emotion, meaning. Some fans believe he sounded confident, almost like someone who isn't worried about the outcome. Others think there was tension underneath, like he was holding something back. People are divided, and that's exactly what made it more intense. Because when someone speaks during a situation like this, it doesn't end the conversation, it expands it. What does he really mean? Why did he say it like that? Is there more we don't know? Those questions started taking over. Meanwhile, speculation kept growing. Some people think this could be tied to past situations or connections, while others believe it might be something completely separate that just hasn't been explained yet. Again, nothing is confirmed. But that hasn't stopped the internet from building its own narrative. And that's where things get dangerous. Because once social media starts connecting dots, it doesn't always wait for facts. It moves fast. Sometimes too fast. A viral post even claimed, "This was bound to happen." No evidence, no proof, just a statement that spread like wildfire. That's how quickly perception can shift. At the same time, the industry reaction, or lack of it, started raising eyebrows. Some artists showed quiet support with subtle posts or emojis. Others stayed completely silent, no comments, no reactions. And in the music world, silence can mean a lot of things. It can be respect, it can be caution, or it can be uncertainty about what's really going on. Emotions ran high behind the scenes, according to sources. Because people close to the situation aren't just watching headlines, they're living it. Conversations happening privately, phones ringing, questions being asked without clear answers. And then came the first real twist. Unconfirmed reports suggest that there may be additional details tied to the charges that haven't been made public yet. That possibility changed everything. Because now it's not just about what we've seen, it's about what could still come out. Let that sink in. Because if more information surfaces, it could completely shift how people understand this situation. Right now, everything feels incomplete. Pieces are there, reactions are everywhere, but the full picture, still missing. And that's why the tension keeps building. Because every hour that passes without clarity only adds more speculation, more theories, and more pressure on everyone involved. Especially Lil Zay Osama. Because whether people support him or question him, one thing is clear. All eyes are on him now. As the days passed, the conversation shifted from shock to something heavier. It wasn't just about headlines anymore, it was about consequences. And right at the center of it all was Lil Zay Osama, not just as an artist, but as a person dealing with something that now felt bigger than music. Fans are shocked, but behind the scenes, according to sources close to the situation, emotions ran high in ways the public couldn't fully see. Because this is the part people often overlook. The human side. Family members, friends, people who were there before the fame, now watching everything unfold in real time. Imagine seeing someone you know trending for something this serious, while the internet debates what's real and what's not. According to unconfirmed reports, those close to him have been trying to stay quiet, avoiding adding fuel to the situation. But silence doesn't stop the pressure. It just makes it heavier. A message that allegedly came from someone in his circle started circulating online. It simply said, "We standing strong." No explanation, no details, but it hit people differently. Because behind every public situation like this, there's a private reality that nobody fully understands. Let that sink in. Meanwhile, the fan base became more divided than ever. On one side, you have supporters saying he's being misunderstood, that nothing is confirmed, and people need to wait before jumping to conclusions. On the other side, you have people saying the seriousness of federal charges can't be ignored, even if details are still unclear. Social media is going crazy, and every new post, every comment, every rumor adds another layer to the tension. And then there's the emotional connection. Because Lil Zay Osama didn't build his audience through hype alone, he built it through relatability. Fans felt like they understood his story. So now, watching this situation unfold, it doesn't just feel like news, it feels personal. Comments under his posts reflect that. "Stay strong," one fan writes. Another says, "We need answers." That mix of support and confusion is what makes this moment so intense. At the same time, the industry is reacting in its own way, quietly. Because here's what nobody is telling you. When something like this happens, the business side doesn't pause, it adjusts. According to sources, collaborations that may have been in progress could now be uncertain. Release plans might be delayed. Conversations are happening behind closed doors about what comes next. Nothing official, nothing confirmed, but noticeable shifts. Because in this industry, perception matters. And right now, perception is changing fast. Some artists have shown subtle support, liking posts, dropping indirect messages. Others have stayed completely silent. No statements, no reactions. And that silence, it speaks volumes. Not necessarily negatively, but carefully. Because nobody wants to get ahead of the facts. Then comes another layer of speculation. Some people think there could be more to this situation than what's currently visible, that maybe there are details still being kept private. Again, nothing is confirmed, but the idea alone keeps the conversation alive. Because when people feel like they don't have the full story, they start trying to create one themselves. And that's exactly what's happening. YouTube videos breaking it down, TikTok clips analyzing every angle, Twitter threads connecting dots that may or may not even be connected. The narrative is being built in real time, and it's moving faster than any official information. Meanwhile, Lil Zay Osama remains at the center of it all. Every move he makes is being watched. Every word he says is being analyzed. and every moment of silence is being interpreted in different ways. That's pressure, real pressure. Because no matter what's true and what's not, the situation has already changed things. Not permanently because nothing is confirmed, but enough to shift how people are looking at him right now. And that's the reality of moments like this. They don't wait for clarity, they unfold while everything is still uncertain. And as the tension continues to build, one thing becomes clear. This situation isn't slowing down, it's only getting more intense. Now, everything reaches a point where the tension feels almost unbearable. Not because answers have come out, but because they haven't. The situation around Lil Zay Osama has officially entered that phase where every small detail feels big, every silence feels loud, and every update, no matter how minor, starts trending instantly. Fans are shocked, but more than that, they're watching closely, waiting for something concrete to finally make sense of it all. And here's where things take another turn. Because instead of clarity, what people are getting is more uncertainty. Unconfirmed reports suggest that there could be additional legal developments still unfolding behind the scenes. Nothing verified, nothing officially announced, but the idea alone is enough to keep the conversation alive. Social media is going crazy again, with new theories popping up almost every hour. Some people think this situation might go deeper than what has been revealed so far. Others believe everything is being exaggerated online. People are divided, and that divide is growing. Because when information is limited, speculation becomes louder. Fans start picking sides without knowing the full story. Some are holding on to loyalty, saying, "We writing no matter what." Others are stepping back, saying, "We need to see the facts first." That tension between support and doubt is what defines this moment. Meanwhile, the pressure surrounding Lil Zay Osama continues to build. Every post, every appearance, every move analyzed. Even his silence becomes a topic. Why hasn't he said more? Is he being advised to stay quiet? Does he know something we don't? Questions keep stacking up, but answers remain out of reach. Let that sink in. Because this is what makes situations like this so intense. It's not just about what's happening, it's about what isn't being said. At the same time, there's a noticeable shift in how people within the industry are moving. According to sources, certain collaborations that were expected may now be paused. Again, nothing confirmed, but the pattern is there. When uncertainty enters the picture, decisions start getting delayed. Not canceled, just held back until things become clearer. And that's where the business side quietly reacts. Because no matter how talented an artist is, situations like this create risk, and risk changes behavior. But here's something important. Despite everything, his core fan base hasn't disappeared. If anything, it's become more vocal. Support messages continue to flood in. Comments like, "Stay strong" and "We waiting on you" are everywhere. That kind of loyalty doesn't fade overnight. It shows that, for many people, this isn't just about headlines, it's about belief. Still, the uncertainty remains. And then comes the biggest question of all. What happens next? Because right now, everything feels like it's leading up to something, but nobody knows exactly what. Some people think this could be a turning point in his career, one way or another. Others believe this is just a temporary storm that will pass. Nothing is confirmed, but the stakes feel high. Because moments like this don't just affect the present, they shape the future. How this situation unfolds could change everything. Not just for him, but for how people view his story moving forward. And that's what keeps everyone locked in, waiting, watching, trying to understand. Because at this point, it's not just about the charges anymore. It's about the outcome. It's about what this moment represents. And most importantly, it's about whether this is truly the end or just another chapter that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. So now everything comes back to this moment. A rising artist, federal charges, a public reaction that raised more questions than answers, and a situation that still feels incomplete. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and social media is going crazy trying to piece everything together, but the truth is, we still don't have the full picture. nothing is confirmed yet. And that's what makes this so intense. Because right now, you're not watching a finished story, you're watching something unfold in real time. Every update, every rumor, every reaction is adding another layer, but the biggest questions are still unanswered. What really led to this situation? Is there more behind the scenes that hasn't come out yet? And what does this mean for Lil Zay Osama moving forward? Let that sink in. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Do you believe this is exactly what it looks like? Or do you think there's something deeper going on that people aren't seeing yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you want more content like this, real stories, real tension, and breakdowns that go deeper than the headlines, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this story, it's far from over.